Hey, what up?
What's going on? It's
Oh yeah,
Motivational
see,
Monday.
I had to put my high fives on, B. I wanted to hear it crisp and clear. You know what I mean? We
Yes,
on
sir.
lockdown right now, my brother.
Yes, sir. They
You
got
know what I
us.
mean?
This is one of those one of those moments in time. But you know what? It's Motivational Monday, which is always a great way to start the week. And you and I been doing this
Right.
for a nice little minute. But this got duality for me today because this is the birthday of my baby brother Malik, the late great Malik Sealy. He was born today.
Oh, word.
So, today's his birthday, would have been his birthday, would have been 51. And also today is the start of Black History Month, quote unquote. So, it's a duality thing. So we kind of, it's a reason to feel good about today for sure, for sure.
Hey, is a good thing. Is a
Yes.
good thing, and that's crazy. Like I'm glad you started off like that because I damn sure was starting off with bad news. So yeah, that's good. Happy birthday, you know what I mean? Paradise, brother partying in paradise and
Yes.
looking down on us and probably like, yo, look at these clowns. Look at my dudes still going. It's all good. So that's dope right there. And you know what's funny? It's when you running and you doing stuff back to back and then life happens and all that stuff, you forget little stuff like you just said. It's start of Black History Month.
Start of Black History.
Like this is February, man. First of all, time flying.
It really is already because it feels like we just said Happy New Year as always. And then, we got the change of guard and, just so many different beautiful things that are, obviously happening. Yes, there's some odd stuff here and there, but, all in all, we've got a lot of beauty going on, to start the new year. And, continuing in that vein, we got to just look for those jewels and look for those moments and those things that, again, keep us going. Today, usually it's not even a rough day for me. I started off so beautifully with somebody posting something early to pay homage to Malik, and then it had a snowball effect, and I started seeing stuff popping up everywhere. And for me, man, and my family, because I don't want everybody to think it's just me. My mom, is still
Right,
around
to the fam.
stuff. So
Well, I want to say, happy Motivation Monday to everybody. Welcome to another episode. This is the Blizzard edition. As you can
yes,
see by these curtains behind me, I'm trapped in a hotel room.
yes,
I'm supposed to be home, and for these last couple of days before the Super Bowl festivities kick in, and I should be frolicking in the snow with the dogs and all that. No such thing, bro. No sir.
got it.
They
Yeah.
got me. They got me in here doing this thing. So again, locked in the room. So going through the news, I want to dedicate the show. Also, I know it's Black History Month, but I always reflect back to people who kind of entertain me. Like when you are an entertainer, you being entertained is just as important. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
lost one of the people who used to make me laugh for years from the TV show Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
We talked about this on when we were White Wednesday. That's one of those shows. You laughed and entertained with uh, my man Dustin, who played Screech.
Is that right? We lost Screech?
Yeah, we
Wow.
lost Screech. Dustin Diamond is his real name, but everybody
Yeah.
affectionately knows him as Screech from Saved by the Bell. Now, Screech been battling. He's been sick for a minute. He's been battling lung cancer, and finally, at the age of I want to say 44,
Okay.
real young dude. We lost Screech. Was 44. Lung cancer, definitely what he was battling on his days. But I always like to remember him, and it made me smile. Like when you're able to look back at somebody being able to do that thing that they wanted to do. Like even though he made people laugh and he was the comedic actor on the show, he
Mhm.
wasn't really a comedian. So
Wow.
yeah, later on, he picked the mic up, and because when Saved by the Bell was gone, and I guess the acting gods ain't beating down your door and with opportunities or whatever, but you have been blessed to play that memorable, super memorable role that the country and the world knows. So
Wow.
capitalize on it. So he was able to start doing the comedy clubs and getting up there just talking and doing his thing and honing his skill to actually becoming a professional comedian.
Wow.
I remember when I go club to club, you always while you're there, you're reading the pamphlets and the advertisements so you know who was just there before you, you know who's there coming weeks after you, and many a nights, you know, I see him either was just there, we miss each other, or he's coming weeks, you know, after my weekend of headlining comedy clubs like the Funny Bones and the you know, in the improvs and all those clubs, the heliums, you know.
Wow.
So rest in peace to my man, Dustin Diamond, aka the one and only Screech. It
Wow.
was a memorable 44 years, bro. You did the damn thing. Yeah. You know, I was like, that was my show. You don't understand.
Saved by, Saved by the Bell, like you said, when we did our when we were, we're doing our when we were white Wednesdays. Again, it was, it was so much programming, so many different things that had a profound effect on us for various reasons. I mean, now it's fun to see this influx of new shows that have us integrated into it, and things of that magnitude, and the shows that grew from those early shows. When we by the
Right.
time we got to Queen Latifah's show, and Cosby Show and all that stuff, those were long after we had spent years and years and years watching those other shows, and trying to see where we fit in or see where it made sense to us. So again, Motivational Monday, has, so many profound ways that, you could be motivated. It really just depends on what
Oh
you're
yeah.
looking to do and how you're looking to be motivated. Like I said, I spent most of today, it took me a while to put up a post, even for my own brother, and I'm usually the first one. But as time has gone on, now to show you the power of numbers and the power of how amazing stuff is. So, Malik's number was 21. For
Okay.
those people who don't know why it's 21, it's because my brother was born on February 2nd, and he's the first day of February. So 2-1. Today happens to be 2121. So again, just to
Oh
show you,
wow.
isn't that bananas? So
Oh wow. Yeah. It
I
is 2121.
2121. So I took the time today to really, just marinate and a lot of different things. And like I said, a lot of beautiful people brought up old photos and things that I didn't even know existed in some cases, and brought them to the world. And I got a chance to smile and look back and laugh. And see, there was a segue that we was in L.A. hard body this time of year. Ain't nothing else. Yo, where y'all at? Cass, we going to L.A. We gonna be in L.A. for a little bit. We gonna do what we
Right.
do. So I like I said, I got to smile about all of that. But thankfully, again today, just been able to, buoy myself on all of the wonderful love and the memories and the well wishes and the, and just everything, man. 21 years later, it's almost amazing sometimes to think of, how somebody has, touched people's lives and they still,
It is.
remember it, you know?
It is. And here's the thing, man. You know, you hear the term of living vicariously through each other, right? And some people do it for different reasons. You know, some people do it, you know, that's my favorite celebrity, or that's my favorite whatever, whatever. But then some people just do it like mano y mano, like human to human, like, you know, little stuff. Like I remember hearing that, like doing these benefits with the handicap. You know what I mean? And you got people that are bound to the wheelchairs, you know, and they literally living vicariously through people who are not in wheelchairs, you know,
Mm.
because they're on the same team or comrades or a certain whatever the sport is. And even though they can't do all the same things that the co-player can do, but they're living vicariously through them. You have the same thing with people with accomplishments and accolades. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this guy is, you know, take something like philanthropy. You know, everybody can't afford to just fly around the world and try to do good and speak to people and try to make change and make a difference. It don't mean it don't lay here. And it don't
Yes.
mean that they don't pick a person that they know that's pretty much doing that. I think that's a lot of people this generation on resonates with, like, say, a Jay-Z,
Yes.
but not for the reasons you may think. Like, it might not be, they may resonate and connect with that, you know, the accolades of a Jay-Z, but as a philanthropist, you know, they may give two shits about the latest record or what was the best album or Reasonable Doubt, or you know, people like myself at my age who lived through it, so to speak, the music journey of a Jay-Z. I have no choice but to know that guy first. You know what I mean? Then this guy here. I respect this guy here. every time he does something positive or innovative, I love what he's doing. A lot of people will not take the time to give him the props or even recognize the accolades and the push that he's making, because some of us are so short-minded and short-visioned, that we only see something if you do something with a name on it, right? So like, if I come out tomorrow and I free Raheem Jamal, who was falsely accused or whatever, I get him out, you may remember that. But you won't remember if I started some sort of foundation that is going to help black people, easier get into colleges, or, scholarship funds, or, it's amazing how many, and I learned this, the reason I talk about it is because I learned this about the more and more work I did with like athletes and ex-athletes, professional athletes. You start to realize these guys have set up these foundations, these charities, these organizations, and they're really doing things on a continual annual basis of helping people get ahead. And it may be the smallest thing you ain't thinking about. You know what I mean? It could be, I've seen people do a thing where they have a thing that picks 5 people at random who needs opportunity to go to this university or to do this project or whatever, that they normally wouldn't get picked. But through the program, they pick these 5 people who have the skills and talent and ambition to do whatever that is. And because something like that may not make big news, so you may not connect with that thing that person is doing. And like, if it doesn't make, like, if it's a big news and so-and-so sat down with the president and got a pardon for, like I said, Jamal, whatever, you're like, oh, okay, that's dope. Because it had the headlines, it had the news, you identified with the person, the single person activity that happened. But you don't, if I tell you something like the Retribution Fund, everybody, the fuck is that? The fuck is that? It's been out for 10 years saving lives, and it's like that. Like, it took a movie for people to come familiar with that organization. What's the name of the movie? Jamie Foxx. They just, not old. Last year, Jamie Foxx played the guy. It's based on a true story. But the bigger picture is the organization that's what they do. They go and find these people on death row and go over these cases. So these people that maybe they didn't do it, they fight for them. If they feel there's enough evidence to say, hey, this guy didn't do this, then they'll go and they'll do their due diligence, and then they'll fight for that person to try to get justice. And they've been prevailing. Their numbers are very impressive. Because let's face it, we don't think that could happen.
We and it's funny because, again, to your point, there's again, obviously so much that we could do as a collective and as individuals. I say this, always humbly, but we tend to believe that, like you said, we have to do things on a grand scale. So it has to be huge. It has to be big so that people can go, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. And really it doesn't. It has to be something just so simple and so, mundane, that has a rippling effect that eventually gets to that point. So many people who we admire, and that, goes for, the people who we see in, various walks of life. That's really what is happening there. The person found themselves in a situation that was either beyond their control or was something that was, maybe taken away from them for various reasons, and opposed to sitting there going, you know what, I'm gonna be mad about this, or, I'm not going to get beyond it. Let me figure out a way to not only turn this thing around, but make it into something so that more people don't find themselves in those same spaces and find themselves dealing with those same issues. I always smile about this month in particular. I wrote this in my, post that I did today, but in all fairness, this month is technically owned by me and my brothers. And I mean that in this regard. Malik's birthday is the 1st. My eldest brother's birthday is the 5th. Mine's is the 9th. And then my other brother's birthday is the 29th. So technically we run the whole gambit of the month because we got the 1st. And as a kid, you don't really think about the impact or, any of those kinds of things. Even when I was a kid, I never really thought about the fact that all our birthdays was in quote unquote Black History Month. Just mercy. Thank you.
Just mercy. Yeah, Ms. Drew, thank you.
I never thought about the fact that all our birthdays was in the month of February. And then, as you get older and you start realizing, quote unquote, the significance of things, just because now the world has made you aware of it. I was like, wow, all our birthdays is in, February. And we really do kind of control that month. The fact that our names are, in some cases Muslim versus, regular names, because Malik, Amir, my other brother's name is Desaline, which is also a Muslim name. Then my eldest brother's name is Sidney, who's, named after my father. But when I was a kid, that was so foreign to me because, in all fairness, I wanted to be David. Why couldn't I be Michael or something like that? Because I was going through such a hard time as a kid with people, pronouncing my name or not, pronouncing my name for whatever reason. And it used to upset me because I was like, well, dang, this is weird. I'm like everybody else. At least, I felt that way. But as time has gone on and, you get to, grow into your name, like,
Right.
you start understanding like the power of it, not only, in the power of it, but then you also understand that, wow, it's kind of dope to have something be somewhat different from everybody else because there's power in that. There's solace in that. There's, energy in that. And the big thing for so many of us is finding those things, whatever they may be. And that's why I said, whether you have a unique name, whether you have a unique way of speaking, whether you have a unique way that you write, whether you have a unique way that you bake, or a unique way that you cook, that's your gift. That's the beauty of what you bring to the world. And in bringing it to the world, you then probably help somebody else open that light up within themselves because they keep thinking to themselves, I'm out here on the island by myself too. But once they start seeing that there's other people
Right.
on that island with them, they're like, oh, wait a minute, okay, I'm not alone. That's what's up. I can live with this now. I
That's what
laugh.
I'm talking about.
Even when I speak to my friends who are teachers and in education, I didn't know another Amir my whole life until I got to be much, much older. And then when I say much, much older, I'm talking about in my 30s and 40s. I never knew another Amir, and then started running into Amirs here and there. But as a kid, I was like, this is for birds. Mom, I couldn't be David. What happened? Why'd you pick that name? And then I got to be older, and like I said, started to understand that my name meant king or prince and all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, there might be some validity to this. Let's hold on. Let's figure this thing out. But now you come full circle and you're just happy and excited that, again, like I said, you hold a specific energy that now the world gets to be a part of. And, like I said, today more so than any other day in the year, like I said, I celebrate my brother obviously because he's my brother, but I celebrate him because so many people who have had the opportunity to meet him and to be in his presence for whatever reason have said, I walked away with this or I walked away with that. Your brother took the
Gotcha.
time to speak to my son or my daughter or whatever, and I'm just like, that's again, that's impactful in the way that will be, down the line and for years to come, because those young people will remember those moments, and that may inspire them in that moment to turn
Well,
things around.
I'm glad that you finally embraced your name because I can't. It's funny because once you know somebody a certain amount of time, like you can't even envision. I can't see me calling you Herb or Lindsay or you know what I'm saying or Mackay or some dumb shit like that. Not even regular names like Tony or Mike. Bro, you Amir. It connects and fits and all that. So let me just say this to everybody listening to Motivation Monday. We got a few guests coming through, scheduled to come through today on our blizzard of a Monday. This is a hell of a blizzard. We'll talk about that at the end. My man Cordell, who represents the franchise owner of Aruga's Grill out here in Jersey. He's going to be stopping through. Comedian extraordinaire and radio personality Jamie Roberts is going to be stopping through. We're going to pop in with him. He's going to give us our workout of the day. But right now, we have in here from Core Management Clothing Line. Now, this brother here I'm going to bring in here now is very interesting why I brought him on the show. Let's bring to the living room Lawrence Sims. I know he's in there.
Yeah,
What's up, brother Lawrence?
How you doing?
How are you, man? Good to see you, brother. This is my co-host and my good friend Amir. Amir, this is the big homie Lawrence right here. Now, a lot of people, here's what's crazy. People been buying my merch. People love the merch. The merch is all over the world. This is the merch man, Amir.
Okay.
This is the
That's
man
what's up.
making the fly joints. I got my mask over here. Hey, those hats. So you know, Lawrence, it's a
Right.
blizzard today. The
Yes.
winter hat, you saved my life, bro.
That's what's up.
First of
Yes,
all,
sir.
congratulations. Thanks for being on the show. I wanted to bring you on because what I found is I'm one of those dudes, man. Unfortunately, a hazard of my job is be analyzing stuff, whether somebody asks me to or not, right?
Right.
So the one thing that struck me in say like April, May, really after end of May, because that was the climate changer, right? We know last year, the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, George Floyd, the video, the viralness, the climate changing, and all that stuff. So what happened is, and I wasn't even thinking of this. This came as an afterthought. Guys like yourself who are in the printing business, the stitching business, you do the embroidery, he does it all. I mean, you whatever you want, this guy gets it. He puts your logo on it. He personalizes. He makes it happen, right? So me, I had a certain flow of the way I was ordering product. You know, I use you and I use another good friend. Shout out to my man Sporty in Jersey. So now he's on the West Coast, Sporty's on the East Coast. But I was okay and content at first with Sporty. You know, I didn't have any problems with him or whatever because I was ordering a certain way, you know, with certain gaps in between, whether it was seasonal or not. Then this climate change happened. Then the George Floyd thing happens, right? And coming out of that and all the protesting going on and everything, so now we're coming into June when it's time for me to start placing some orders and getting ready for that next season, whatever. They started to slowly open things up. I wasn't in a rush because we were shut down. And my good friend Rodney Perry, who does the box seat show with us, was like, yeah, man, see, you got some good merch and everything, man. I want to hook you with my boy. He's real good, whatever. I was like, in my mind, I was like, I don't really need nobody, right? And then I go to place an order with my guy, and I can't get a T-shirt for it. Motherfucker told me it's gonna be at least 15 weeks or some shit. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like, I
Wow.
was like, that's incredible. So then I remember my conversation, and I tapped into Brother Lawrence, and he was like, hey man, bro, and I'm sending you some quotes. That's what I could do. So, show you some samples, all this stuff. And then the light bulb went off. Like, you know what? Nobody's even thinking about that. Like, my stuff is not backlogged because the guy's lazy or whatever the case may be. You guys have been bombarded because the t-shirt game, the print on shirt period business went skyrocketing because of the protests. Am I
Right.
right or wrong?
Right. Absolutely.
So tell
Absolutely.
me the transition. How did you deal with that? Because let's say you was like me, moving a certain speed and then poof.
Well, oddly enough, I just transitioned into shirts in late September. I was actually operating in a clothing brand, and we saw fluctuation in orders based on content, what the shirts were representing. So in that transition, I decided that I wanted to move forward into production and actually providing a service that would be more detailed because
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't enough on the market.
That's
Nothing
true.
relevant and positive. So I started the clothing brand. Actually, I've had the company for about 3 years, and we provided management services and advanced management training. So then we moved into the clothing market, and it kind of just went crazy.
See what I'm saying? And I remember like, so I'm saying to myself, and that's it, the light bulb goes off, and talent kicks in. Like, wait a minute, dude, you're trying to order something that everybody's ordering right now. Like, and the guys who are ordering from bulk who do this line of work, who do the printing, embroidering, God forbid if their stuff was coming from overseas.
Right.
If they were buying in bulk from overseas, and then we had nincompoop in the office who was changing all the embargo and taxing the laws and the exchange. So that changed the game, period. So I was
Well,
like,
too,
damn.
too, I think there's a window of opportunity to be spoken about because a lot of the specialized, like what I do, the direct to garment,
Mhm.
uh, is based on inventory. And a lot of these small shops deal in small inventory. So their ability to produce is diminished by the fact that they don't have on hand inventory. So in that window, when you see there's an opportunity to seize a project or a business, you have to prepare yourself in such a manner that you have enough inventory to service your customers.
Right.
And in my perspective, I'm one of those tedious minded people. Whereas if I go out and buy a car, I don't want to buy a car unless I have the finances to buy that car twice. So
Wow.
if I'm going to
Interesting.
provide for somebody, I don't want to just provide locally. I want to provide globally. So my inventory has to speak to the volume of the sales that I want to do. So we carry a fairly large inventory, so we're able to turn things around. The only other deterrent is accessibility. That's with this season and the things that are going on, clothing brands have gotten to be in abundance. Um, and what we do is brand support. So as well as having a clothing brand, we also provide for clothing brands. And production worldwide has slowed down. So this season was a big gap in the hoodies,
Hmm.
sportswear. You find that most of your manufacturers are sold out of most popular colors and sizes. So it's been difficult, but for those of us who prepared in advance when there was that window of opportunity to seize the inventory, you know, it's just like a disaster. You stock up. You
Oh,
know, you got
I
a
know what
certain.
that's like because you done sold me stuff I wasn't even looking for. I I done went in there shopping for one thing and left with next thing I know I got on fatigues. I'm
Right,
like that looks nice. And
right.
break down to me because what this kind of struck me a certain way also. In the middle of we were in between two orders and we were already doing one thing and trying to figure out the next order. You sent me of something of the machine and you was explaining to me how you said T take advantage of things you have pictures on because I have this certain printing machine or whatever.
Well, I think part of the reason that businesses like mine are successful is that if you take the time to educate your client base as
Yes.
to what's available to them,
Yes.
because as a consumer, we get caught up in our daily routine. This is what we're doing and this is what we've been doing.
That's true.
So we just keep doing
Guilty.
that because we know that works. But everything has a natural progression. So you have to be ready to move forward and advance with the things that are available to you. So in that, I try to educate my customers as to what's available with them because you'll spend the same money on a two-color shirt as you would on a full-color directed garment shirt because the structure of the business, the availability of directed garment and its machinery has become more affordable, but not so much that the market is flooded. So those companies who do provide direct to garment are extremely high.
Okay.
But as a
See, this is
successful
why, yeah,
business,
that's why you got to talk to guys that know what they're talking about. Because I feel
as a
like an
success,
ass right now. I know exactly what you're saying when I apply it to comedy, right?
right? Exactly.
But why didn't I wake up and apply it to this? And
It's
you hit that nail on the head.
it's a
I,
business fundamental. It's three things that make a successful business. That's customer service, quality, and affordability. And if you
okay.
can hit each one of those nails on the head, you can be successful. I got clients that don't care how long it takes, as long as the product is of standard for their company.
I have a question for you, Lawrence, just out of curiosity. Being that you obviously in this line of business, is art something that was already in your background and something that you already did, or that?
Absolutely. I actually
Okay.
I've been in art design for about 30 years. I graduated high school with an art scholarship.
Okay.
Nice.
But I went to the military. So but yeah, I did
That's
a
why he
graphic
sold me them
design
damn
business.
hoodies. See what I'm saying?
Right, right. I did art and design, graphic design for about 15 years,
Wow.
the design business. And then I went
Okay.
into, actually, oddly enough, custom motorcycles and cars. So I did
Wow.
custom paint on motorcycles and cars for 17 years. And now I'm back in direct hands-on art and design.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You definitely. I learned about. I feel like I went to college for a couple of semesters just talking to you because something simple like when you said that to me, like is exactly what you said. Like I knew it works, I knew what I sold, and it was just about getting it in the hands and the households of as many as possible. When you said that, dude, like putting my face on the actual, I'll put it on, I got it on mugs, I got it on all types of merch, but
Right.
on the clothing, I never would have thought of that. Like I just wouldn't. I'm like, people won't wear my face. And then I sent you the Godfather joint, which was to come out this year. It was supposed to be coming
Right.
out right now. We got that out almost 4 months ago
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
playing around, sent it to you, and you did an example. And I was like, damn. I was like, how do I look at this thing that's perfect product and say I'm going to sit on it for 4 months? So long story short, it ended up coming out almost 4 months prior than when it was supposed to on our side of the table,
Right.
projected to be released, and that's because of your great work. I cannot deny it.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
What I and I continue to push people your way because I stand by. When I got that stuff, I called you, and I was
Right.
like, you know how, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it because it's Motivation Monday. The reason he's on here, people, because I'm tired of turning every corner talking about depression. I'm tired of us using this for the suicide rate is up. I'm tired of us using it for a reason not to do things. Brothers and sisters who are out here doing things, we need to be shining the high beam on, and we need to be seeing it and knowing what it is. And I gotta applaud you, bro, because I have a thing, and it's always been like this. Before the climate change to what now everybody's talking about buy black business, right? But I was here 30 years ago. I was one of those guys saying, yo, go black, go black. And then 20 years ago, I kind of was flipping my script because I'm telling everybody to go black, support black, buy black. But one thing I got to be honest, as a black man, I was noticing is we didn't take the time, like the man said, customer service. Most black people didn't show us that.
Right.
It was almost like you owe me your business because I'm black. And no, I ain't got no bag. Take this shit, get out of my store. Like, and it was like, dude, like, where's the customer service? Where's the quality? Where's that extra oomph that I get from Becky and them when I walk in the white steps? Hey, hello, sir. Blah, blah, blah. When I got his first box shipped to my house, Amir, he said, check it, man. Make sure everything's good. First of all, I opened the box. I'm blown away because you know what? Why? We're used to, over the last 20 years, we're used to getting our merch, and we set aside time to count and separate our merch size by size so that when we go out, we pack luggage bags or whatever, duffels, size by size. After, of course, we done spent the time to separate, do our thing. I opened this brother's box, Amir. Not only was it folded like he in my house doing my laundry, right? Not only was it coming folded, not only was it size itemized and everything, it was put in all the work I would have did normally picking up the merch. He did on his side. I'm taking out plastic store ready, almost like packets with the sticker on it. These are your smalls. These are your mediums. These are your lot. When I showed my team that, because the first time I got to sell them was that Atlantic City thing we did in December, right? So everything else was online. If you've seen it online, you don't know, you just see the shirt. But when you came to the merch side of the ballroom to where we were set up, people was picking this thing up like, and the first thing they do, they shitting on my other merch. They like, yo, why that shit ain't like this? I'm like, do you want the shirt or not, sir? I'm like, don't shit on my other merch. They're like, this is great. Can I take it out? Can I see? But I say that to applaud your business, bro. And that's what the flag, we was talking about something totally different earlier. And then the flag went off like, are you free to come on the show and plug your business? Let people know. Because people, here's my thing. Some people think that this type of business only works if you're talented and you're a comedian and you're selling merch. No, people go to guys like you every year because their family wants a family reunion shirt.
Right.
We got the team. I got a little league team or a midget football team. I need hats, jerseys. This guy does it all. And we all, at some point in our walks in fashion and just everyday way of life, need entrepreneurs and black businesses like this. I applaud you, sir. I'm going to continue to push business your way. You got my business, and people know I do this thing all year round because this is part of my overall thing with the comedy thing. I want people to walk away with my logos, with my now my face, which I wasn't planning on, but now my face and everything, because the more households we're in, we become a household name. Please plug your website, your social media. How can people get in touch with you?
You can catch me on Instagram at Stitched and Printed. We're starting a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Core Management Clothing Stitched and Printed. And just look out for us. We got a lot of stuff coming.
That's my man, Lawrence Sims, Stitched and Printed. That's how we thank you so much. I appreciate you, man, Lawrence. Keep rocking, man. We'll talk tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
God bless that brother right there. Somebody's laughing because I said midget football team. I don't mean like that. Like we really called it midget league. It was. I guess they I guess they changed it now because the word midget. But growing up, you had Little League for baseball, and you had midget football.
No question. Look,
but they laughing in the comments. And midget football. That's not.
So what's so funny to your point? Like nobody, you haven't seen the post yet. But
Shit.
I started the post with a picture that somebody had sent me because Malik and I started out in Little League football. We didn't start in basketball. We started out in Little League football on McCoon's track, which is where Yankee Stadium is now. The new Yankee Stadium is. It used to be a track there, a racetrack or whatever.
Right, I remember that track.
And the little team that used to be gotten out of, formulate out of there was called the Road Runners when we was little kids. So we were part of the Road Runners. So somebody found a.
So we got the Razorbacks. We got the Razorbacks. In Mount Vernon. The Razorback. And our colors, the little team colors, are the same colors as Mount Vernon high school colors.
Yo, ours was back then. The colors was baby blue and red. So somebody found a picture of us as as all little kids. And we took this, group photo, but I didn't even know it existed. I don't even remember taking the photo, but somebody sent it to me, and I'm sitting there. At first, I'm looking at the photo like, why'd they send it to me? And then, you look at the bottom, it said hashtag Malik Sealy, hashtag Amir Sealy, hashtag Carlton Hines. I'm like, so how you got to make the photo big. I made the photo big. I was like, oh snap! I was like, where'd you find? Like, who found this? I didn't even know what was in this daggone picture, but it's a picture of me and Malik as little kids.
But let me ask you a question, right? Before we bring on our next guest, real quick. Do you is it me, or do you believe, like, when you're in a random place, like, train station, Penn Station, Union Station, or whatever, or catching a bus, and those guys, some random kids come around with the chocolates and say, hey, you want to buy the chocolates to support my football team? Do you believe? I don't believe it.
You know what? It's funny. Sometimes I try to believe it, and then sometimes I'm like,
I want to believe it. Because I think, I don't know why. And the only reason it came up because yesterday, coming through Philly in the train station, sure enough, heckling one of these guys. But the guy looks mad suspect, right? For mad shady. And then I always thought, not just yesterday, but I always thought, why would, if your team is doing it, like, why you got you out here doing it? Got to be a better way, because there's never no Girl Scouts in the train station, and they sell cookies all. They sell cookies all the time, but I have yet to be in Penn Station or any train station for that matter, and some little girl come over, hey, you want to buy some cookies? And I don't know, yo. If you are, I apologize. Keep rocking. May you get all the money you need to get your uniforms and helmets and equipment. But if you ain't, man, shame on you. I'm just never going to, I'm not going to lie. If I'm hungry for some chocolate, I'll buy it just because I'm hungry for it. But I don't believe the shit, Anyway, moving on. Motivation Monday show. I got a good comedian friend. We're going to interrupt this workout, I believe. Jamie Roberts is in the building. Let's clap it up for this radio personality / comedian / super dad. Super dad, what up?
What's good, brothers? What's good? How y'all feeling?
Right. I'm good.
How are you chilling, man? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on this, man. This is important in our world. Real talk. We need.
Oh, bro. We tried to. I don't know if you heard me a few minutes ago. How long you was in the backstage, but the reason that this came about, to be honest with you, is just sitting around. Like I watch, see, I think that we're in a line of work that's like no other. And people could say other things are like it, but I think in my heart of hearts, I know that it stands alone. And I remember the beginning of this thing kicking in. The week before, I'm in Connecticut. I'm heading back home. This is the week before exactly, like literally 7 days, maybe 8 before they say lockdown, right? So I'm coming back and, it's all on the news, the virus, people, blah, blah, blah. But there ain't no lockdown yet. So we still trying to figure it out. And then I'm getting calls. I'm only 3 hours from home, me in the car, and I had at least 10, 12 calls. Man, T, what's going on out there, man? I had this canceled, niggas canceled, the virus, people scared to come out of cancel. And I'm as calm as hell. Not that I know there's a lockdown coming, but I don't know why, but I'm just calm like, dude, it's the world. It's happening to everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So fast forward, the lockdown happens. Fast forward a month after that, you start reading about suicides going up.
Yeah.
Depression all-time high, people being medicated. And I'm like, and then as I'm talking to other comics, I'm like, oh my God, this is on our back porch.
Yeah, man. It's in your house. It's on your front lawn. You know what I mean?
That's why we do this, man.
Yeah, well, you also have to remember that a lot of comics are very dark. You know what I mean? And without the stage, we don't have that outlet. We don't got that therapy. So
who's dark? Well. Give me 5 dark comics. Come on, let's talk about
horrible. You horrible for that.
I know, because I might have to make a call.
I'm gonna take your names. We're gonna do it together.
Jamie acting like I'm a cold go. Kill yourself, die. Like I'm trying to help people, man.
No, you're not. You're gonna call like Jamie said you were depressed. I just got on the phone with Jamie, and Jamie said you need help.
You're right. My bad. I didn't even look at it that way. You're right, though. You have to.
Man.
So what you got going on, man? What are you doing? Tell me about, first and foremost, let's deal with the radio, man.
Yeah, man. So during the quarantine, we started our own radio station, 108
I
Soul.
like that.
108 Soul to Soul in New York. So it's R&B classic.
First of all, hold it right there. You're a sucker because you didn't tell me that you was part of that.
Let me tell you this. I could not say that I was part of that because I was still working for the Mida station.
Got you.
La Mega and Amir. So
I
just recently resigned 2 weeks ago. So I work with 108 Soul 100% now.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Congratulations.
This is my friend, Amir, like a real friend, right? So Jamie was like, talking about it, but like real whatever. And then I'm talking to somebody who's like, yeah, Jamie's station. And I'm like, Jamie's not. Jamie's. And it was like, no, it's Jamie's. And I was like, this son of a bitch.
Yo, but whoever told you that was probably Ray DeJean. I told him he can't.
No, it wasn't even Ray. It was somebody else. I think it was
Cool Mike.
We had what you call it on here? My favorite DJ.
Cool. You're talking about what's his
name? Barry B.
Trilogy Zone. Barry B.
Yes.
He's on tonight, actually. He's on for Major tonight.
Yes.
That's
Mondays
guy,
is
man.
Yes.
Very good dude, man. 110%.
So how does it feel to be doing your own thing?
It feels great. It feels great, man. The thing about it is we're able to employ people who wouldn't normally have work. You know what I mean? Because the clubs are shut down. The comedy we shut down for the most part, unless you want to go to Atlanta and risk your life. You know what I mean? And
that's a whole nother story, right?
It ain't happening. So we have to become innovators, and figure it out. As I said in 2020, you got to learn how to pivot. That's the word.
Congratulations on 108 Soul, brother. Listen, let's talk, man. You need me to get creative? Hey, we here for you on that note. You know what I mean? You're a very funny brother. I tell you every time I do get a chance to speak to you, how proud of I am because you're one of those guys. When I talk to people about people that's in the comedy game that come to me and strike up these conversations and really trying to, act like they're getting the jewels or information to use to go forward, a handful of you guys really do. And when I see you again in the work like that we do, by a stage, I sit back like a proud uncle, like, because I see you apply it. You know what I mean? But it's a feeling. It's one thing to tell somebody something, and I guess this is how our parents and elders looked at us. Like when they thought they gave us jewels, when they seen us going out there like they didn't tell us anything, they got to be pissed off. But when they see us apply it, they got to be like,
yo, man, you used to give me those jewels in between sets when I was hosting at the Improv. It was the Improv back then. Remember?
Yes, remember? Yeah.
I used to host the New Jack section. And so you would tell me when you and Kenny Williams, my man, he used to tell me, all right, listen, don't talk to the crowd on this. You got to lay off of this, you know, and it was training on the spot. And if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be back. Real talk. You know what I mean? They wouldn't bring you back. So you had to adapt. You had to move. You had to be a chameleon on stage and learn how to work. And I learned a lot just by sitting back and watching you guys, man. It'll be something.
You apply it, brother. You apply it, and you one of the best to do. Your energy's immaculate, and you do what you got to do. Now, I know we're interrupting a workout session, if I'm correct.
My
right?
son right here, he's getting busy on the squad.
Okay. Wow.
That's motivation, baby.
Yeah, man.
Look at that. So, what do you do? An hour workout?
Yeah, we do an hour workout. He usually has on Monday, since we usually go to the gym for 2 hours for basketball training out here on Long Island. But it was snowed in today, so we just decided to hit the weights. Hold on. Yeah, you're about to be on YouTube forever if you drop that. Someone got this on tape. Somebody got it on tape. He about to go viral for
all I heard was clink clink. He's like, yo, all right.
Dad of the year just got arrested for neglect.
That's funny. So tell me, what's to look for in the future going forward with Jamie coming out the other side of this? I know we're not moving around the way we like to, but coming out of this, what's to look for?
Yo, man. Well, I'm married to a comedian, Nikki Sunshine. So right now we're still pitching our reality show. We had a show 2 years ago on FYI Network. And so now when we had that show, we were dating. Now that we're married, we're getting ready to have a baby. We're back in talks with the producers to see if they want to pick it up again. Last time it was 10 episodes and ran well. Got us a lot of exposure, some extra work. And we'll see what it takes from here, because everything now is this. Everything is
you talk about determination. He said we went over there then. Now we back because we're having a baby. You talk about determination. Let's go have a baby.
You gotta have something to pull them in. So what's different? All right, how about you look at her belly? That's what's different. How about that? Album dropping next month. How about that? Y'all want to be there with the cameras?
Hey, man, well, I'm not going to hold you long. Shout out the radio station. Shout out your social media. How can people find and see what Jamie Roberts is always up to?
The station is 108 Soul. You can go to 108soul.com, or you can download the app in any app store. You can say, Alexa, enable 108 Soul New York. It'll pop up. JamieRoberts.com is my email. I mean, my website, and you can catch me at Comedian Jamie, Jamie, all social medias. You know that.
Thank you, my brother.
You know he's professional.
All social media.
Jamie.
Hey. Nothing but love to you, brother. Stay focused, stay positive. Thank you for helping us uplift today. Hey, tell Nikki, give her my best. Tell her to come on next Monday.
Will do, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all keep doing what y'all do.
Yes. Thank you,
gentlemen. Jamie Roberts and son working out, getting the work out. They're not letting COVID or nothing stop them, man. That's how this thing goes down.
That's the motivation. That's the motivation. You gotta figure out ways. And he said something, that is a major word that we've been using a lot. That pivot word. Look, people, in this current climate, because that's what it is. It's a climate. In this current climate, you got to figure out ways to pivot. And I described some of the things earlier. Like I said, you guys have talents and things that you do just for fun that you don't realize you can turn into something just because. It doesn't mean that you start out even thinking of it in that regards. You just do it because there's the love for it. Somebody will find a way or see it and figure out how to tell you or show you how to monetize it, or you might figure out how to monetize it yourself just because it's now something that you were already doing anyway, but now it's something that you're bringing to the world, and the world is like, hey, this is different. I like this. What else you got here? Whatever the case may be. So I think that, again, like you said, this motivational Monday is all it's about.
But you see where I'm going with it, right? You see how the whole thing is just pinging off action off of people, because I think the more people that can witness and really experience people doing stuff, motivation begets motivation. You know what I mean? We have this thing like in comedy, we say work begets work. That's why you want that one gig, because from that one gig, you do your thing, you get 5 more gigs. And then you do those 5 gigs and you get 5 more gigs. And before you know it, you have a career. You know what I mean? Now this is what you do, for real, for real. So same thing, that's the mentality that I'm applying here on Motivation Monday. Speaking of that, let's bring in our final guest. They're backstage right now. Brother Cordell is, he's stepped into the franchise lane. Oh, I got the whole cup. They done stepped in the franchise lane of one of the best places I've seen. Let me tell you something. You talk about lifting spirits during the pandemic. Arugas, North Plainfield, New Jersey ain't playing. How about that? They call it playing field like people playing. Not Cordell and company. Like, this couple right here showed us nothing but the greatest hospitality when we played the Arugas. Can't wait to get back there. Great food, guys. Clap it up for them, man. Clap it up for them.
Thank you.
Tanaka and Cordell's in there. What's up, family?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
How y'all doing, man? I had to get y'all on here because, we do this every Monday. We've been doing it during quarantine, out of quarantine, because, again, we are in tough times where I always say we got 3 type of people, man. We got people that's on the ledge, ready to jump, people that might be a paycheck away from being where they are, and then you got the people who are trying to tell themselves they're okay, but, in these uncertain circumstances, we all can be on that ledge. So you guys are part of, whether you look at it that way or not. I know that business is business, but when I walk through that door and I watch people walk through your doors, that weekend I was there to do those shows, it didn't feel like that. You didn't make people feel like it was, I don't know, business as usual. How do you do that?
Yeah, so thank you. First of all, thank you for having us on and being part
of
the
problem.
Against that exposure. We definitely appreciate that. And Amir was talking about how to pivot, right? So by nature, we are a sports bar franchise. I could talk about the food all day long. That's not what we're here for. But when we talk about the pivot, that's exactly where we are today, because we recognize immediately we have a very, very large place. We don't have the Fortune 500 name, and 300 people are not going to come just to eat like they used to, just to have a good time, right? So we took our dining room and turned it to a venue. So we give everyone a reason now to come, with the lights, the stage talent. As you know, you bless the stage. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
No doubt.
Again, we had to learn how to pivot and how to say, okay, yes, we are a sports bar. Yes, we do serve great food. We serve clean food. We have a lot of meatless options. We also had to pivot to become a venue because of the epidemic that we're in. And folks are scared, right?
Well, let me say this. You're right. You pivot, but here's the thing. I've watched in the last, next month will be a year, that I've seen a lot of pivoting, right? But the level you pivoted at is to be applauded for more than one reason. The perfect example is not too long ago, you had my buddy, one of my good friends that came up in comedy, Joe Claire, right? So Joe Claire, I get the call from Joe Claire. The last thing I'm thinking Joe is calling is to ask me about Arugas. Because me and Joe talk about everything on the side. So I'm thinking Joe gonna call about anything but Arugas. So he goes, I'm like, "What up, Joe, man? How you doing? How's the family?" And Joe Claire goes, "Everything good. Forget all that. Listen, how's Arugas?" I said, "What?" He said, "I'm about to play Arugas. I see you played it. Tell me about it. Whatever." And I was like, and he'll tell you, I had nothing but the highest to say. I say, "Bruh, you gonna love it." He's like, "Really, man? Because it's a sports blah blah blah." Amir, when I tell you what he's referring to as this pivot, the dining room side of the place, the establishment, he didn't just, because I know a million guys that just said, let's just throw stuff over there. They went the extra mile in setting it up with the professional stage. I'm talking with steps. Hello? If you're a promoter out there listening, we need steps, Negroes. He put the professional setup over there. The booth wise and the seating wise is already kind of perfectly structured where they can get away with it and everything. But again, from the lighting, the sound, and the stage setup and everything, and at that time it's the holiday, so they had the big Santa Claus, and they had the big black Santa. They had the big black Santa.
Yeah.
Black
Yes.
No, but all jokes aside, it was immaculate. And another thing, guys, I gotta applaud you guys. Your staff was awesome.
Thank you.
I can't tell you the last time I seen, especially in a sports bar, like you said, yeah, you pivot in the dining room side, but that staff was attentive from from coming through the front door, to getting situated, they putting you where, you want to be at, and taking care of your food, your drinks, or whatever, and anything. It like was the bad. I mean, very attentive staff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was at that moment, you know what I wanted to be? I didn't want to be the comedian. I wanted to be that guy from the health department, the restaurant guy with the clipboard.
Trying to find something.
I want to have my clipboard. They're always grunting. They got an attitude. Who put this up here? Anyway, it was perfect. So here's my thing. In these trying times, what else other than that? That's a great pivot. Give us a couple of challenges in that business. Is right now, because like you said, I guess the main objective is people are skeptic. How do we get them out to come here?
Yeah. So we talk about challenges, and then I'll let her talk. So the challenges are to get what we call in the restaurant business butts and seats, right? Mm-hmm. As you probably know, we have the UV lights throughout the restaurant. We follow every CDC code imaginable. We go above and beyond. But people are still afraid, regardless. So the challenge is to get butts and seats. So when we went outside, she had a great idea of putting a tent outside. We did that. That was successful for a while. Storm came through, blew it apart, right? So, I mean, wow. we can put it back together again, but you're always challenged with having a solution, something happening in 4 to 6 weeks, and having it torn apart and having to redo it again. And it's not just us. It's every restaurant is going through this. Another example, right? They said you could see 50% capacity. Then they went down to 25% capacity. Then they told us you can't seat at the bar. Then they told us you got to close at 10. I mean, it's going to be McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Karaoke and dancing is illegal in New Jersey now. I can't believe weed is legal and karaoke and dancing is illegal in New Jersey. So
wow.
So I mean, so the real challenge, and there is no easy solution. The real challenge is, to me, like I tell my wife all the time, you see a brick wall in front of you, you go around it, under it, or through it, but you just can't sit there and stare at it. You know what I mean? There is no easy solution. There's no one stop, because there's so many changes because of the epidemic, and different states have different governors and they have different rules. I mean, Florida's rocking and rolling like nothing happened, and I got to close at 10 and see people 10 feet from my bar,
Yeah.
So that's the real challenge, But my wife was the one that put the whole entertainment aspect together. She's the reason why we turned into a venue. We had the vision. And so that's been very, very helpful to us to sustain a certain amount of revenue so we can continue to get by until this thing is over. But believe me not, we believe the investments that we're making and with the community and you guys and everything else, when this thing comes back, we're going to be positioned to really take off.
Well, you guys are a prime example that it takes the king and the queen together to make it happen, because here's the thing that'll mess you up, Amir. When you go in there, and this is beautiful. It's such a beautiful place. It's ran so good. We have a stigma on our king and queen couples, meaning Black people, that they can't run things at this level. You walk in there, you don't even know these are your owners.
That's a beautiful place.
We in there sitting there, we on drink number 2 when they come over. And it's like, they own the place. We like, what? I start looking them up and down. I want to make sure. I'm looking by the sock, by the ankle part, and see if the skin is still black down there. Are they trying to pull one over? But no, I really applaud you guys, and I owe you guys a huge apology, because when you reached out to me, I believe it was Thursday, I was playing this venue in Elizabeth. It was the coldest night of the winter, and I got it, and I replied back, but I did something stupid. I don't know what I was doing with the phone. End up deleting it. That's why I had to, reach out, call the place. I hit Joe Claire. He hit me with an email and everything. So I just wanted to really get you guys on here, because you guys are a staple and you are a benchmark of going forward I mean, obviously you guys are going to figure it. I got nothing but the most faith in you guys, and anything I can do, I'm going to be a part of that. But I think you guys are a benchmark and a staple to our community, especially of being motivated to keeping things going, if not already just starting things as entrepreneurs. And you buying into this franchise, guys, that right there, you're making history.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Definitely.
So without anything, I mean, tell the people exactly where it is located, the website, how to find you guys. If you got social media, just lay all that out there. And we appreciate you guys.
Well, we are Rugas. We're in North Plainfield. We are on Route 22, 1250 Route 22. Every Saturday, we have Comedy Saturdays. As of March, we'll be bringing back Cigar Night. So for all you gentlemen and ladies who like to smoke and don't want to quite be indoors yet, we'll be having the heaters outside, and you can have your cigars. Hopefully, we'll have some comedians out there by the spring, also on Thursdays too. Yes.
And people understand. I vouch for this. 125%. It's not one thing about us comedians, especially a guy like the veterans like myself that's going on 30 years in the game. We can pick holes in venues. We can pick holes in spots. At this stage of the game, it don't be 100% about making money. Like, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel safe, and you want to come back. More importantly, and you guys, A+. Let me get my clipboard out. You guys are A+ on everything. Thank you guys so much. I'll reach out. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
God bless them, y'all. Give it up for
and the Facebook is Arugas, AROOGAS 22NP, Route 22 North Plainfield. Arugas 22NP. Everything we do is on that and Instagram. All right, Tal, Amir, thank you, gentlemen, both so much. Tal, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
We'll talk soon, brother. Thank you. Give it up for the couple one more time, y'all. My girl A, my boy Cord, these people holding it down right there. Arugas, North Plainfield, a place you do not want to miss. Thank you guys for joining us on Motivation Monday. Again, the big homie Amir. You see what I'm saying here, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How crazy is that?
It's incredible, man. Again,
I'm taking you there because you're gonna, I know it sounds like when you watch these shows and we talk about places, this ain't regular radio where, when I'm on radio, the producers and the powers that be give you people to talk about. You know what I mean? Talk about this place, talk up Applebee's, talk up blah, blah. I'm telling you this from just going there, not knowing what I'm walking into. When I was in the parking lot, I am another gig, I'm going to this thing, blah, blah, blah. And step in the door and was like it was a wow after a wow, if that makes any sense to you. You know what I mean?
It does.
It was wow after wow.
You hit the nail on the head, and the couple, touched on it. One of the things, besides pivoting that is, so paramount to, everything that we're going through, and Lawrence hit on it as well, is customer service. Guys, it is imperative that we give great customer service. And that means paying attention to detail. It means thanking the beautiful people who frequent your establishment. It means treating them as if you would treat your same parents or members of your family. We got to stop doing things and giving people half service. I don't want to say half service. We got to give each other our full attention. We have to make sure that when we're doing the things that we're supposed to do, people then go by word of mouth and go, that's a place you definitely want to check out. I can vouch for it. You know how I am. You know what my standards are like. So if I'm telling you that these people and this is how they carry themselves, I want you to have the same experience that I had. And I feel like that's what you bring to the table with that.
Oh, absolutely. I do. We're not, and I know you hear me, but when I show you, you're going to be like,
really?
Because, dude, at this stage of the game, it do take a lot to, we kind of jaded. So it does take a lot to raise your eyebrows like, this is, and I knew it was so dope because, again, I think I was sipping the second drink when they came over. Did you meet the owners? I'm like, nah. I'm like, yeah, they come over and introduce yourself. And apparently we already met years before at other things like, her college she went to, I played the college, and, he's a Jersey Knight. So we talk and we chop it up, and we, have all this stuff in common and met before and everything. But I'm ashamed to say I was taken aback with amazement of like, wow, these are the owners. It shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't be shocked. I shouldn't be shocked that I'm in a dope place and there's black owners. Is what I'm saying.
Black owners. You're right, but
I'm ashamed.
But it goes to show you that we also have a ways to go on both sides of that fence. Yeah. Meaning, one side we have to provide the kind of service and the kind of experience that makes people want to come back, and on the other side of it, we have to start expecting that level of service and that level of what you call it from one another. Facts. Because as long as we're providing those two sides, who's going to stop us? And how are they going to stop us? I say that all the time. Look, this is Black History Month. I'll say this just for the Black History Month perspective of this. When you look at us as a collective, and when I say looking at us as a collective, I mean when you look at the whole spectrum of what we've managed to accomplish as far as this country is concerned and as far as the world is concerned. Like I said, who's going to stop us? How are they going to stop us? You gave us the scraps when we were slaves. We turned all that into delicacies. Everything from chitlins to whatever else you can think of. That was never lied. We turned it into delicacies. So much so that then they wanted to try to reclaim it back. Well, wait a minute. No. You gave it to us. You can't have it back. Now we're going to do this one. And you look at it, it just makes you smile because it again tells you just how powerful, how amazing, how beyond reproach we technically are as a people and as a collective. And this is why I love this man right here for not only having a motivational Monday and the forethought and the foresight to bring this to fruition, but then take the time to find those little jewels and those little people who you may not even know exist, but bring them to the light. So now that you know they exist, you can either go and support or now bring what you do to the table as well. So now we got all these beacons of light everywhere that we can now look to and point to, so that now we can know these are places that not only we can go and frequent, but they are owned by us. They're supported by us. And there's nothing on the planet better than that. I don't care what anybody says. I tell people this all the time. I have no remorse or no ill will towards any other group of people. But who does it like we do? Who? Name somebody, anybody. Not. So it's almost unheard of. And I mean
you tap that, you hit that on the head, on the nail on the head, and it can't be any clearer. And this is why we beat this thing home every damn week, because like you said, all these little beacons of light going off. Eventually, you ever look up in the sky on one of them damn star nights where it don't look like got enough room up there for all those stars. And that's what we want the beacons of light to look like amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? Again, thank you, Amir. Everybody that's tuned in, don't forget to tune back in, tomorrow in the morning when we come on and hit you with a Divided States Blizzard style, because I got some things we definitely want to talk about. And this story I'm going to bring up tomorrow, Amir, be ready for Friday, because it's going to carry over. I don't know if you've seen it with the police chief out in Georgia. With the body cam catch him talking. Man, when I tell you, when you hear verbatim what this man said, we was better off as slaves. This is the police chief.
I thought it was the unfortunate situation with the 9-year-old little girl and the pepper spray, because I saw that today and I was like,
well, I'm gonna definitely bring that up because that's in my second hometown of Rochester, so I got to talk about that. But when I heard this guy, see, one thing I can look at, people could fall back on with crazy stuff like the 9-year-old. They're gonna hit you. I already know where they're gonna go. Oh, the girl she's a rookie. She's only been there 2-3 years. This one didn't the training and da da da. When you got this old ass geezer, chief of police, the boss, and what he saying? Watch this, man. You're gonna be
like you said, Friday. Friday. It's as Jay once said on one of his records. It's just us and the guns. So we gonna come through with the guns blazing.
There you go. Say no more, say less. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Amir Sealy. We're celebrating life of Malik Sealy. Today's the day. It is the first of the month. And happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Look, I said this in my post, and I'll say it to y'all. This happy Black History. Because they can't put what we do in a month. They can't put it in a year. There's no way you could put that in any kind of time frame. So I'm just saying, happy Black History. Let's continue to make history. Let's continue to celebrate each other. Let's continue to put those facts out there that people don't know, and those little nuggets. And as y'all find information about who we are and what we've done and how we've accomplished things, share it and make it shareable. So this way we can continue to educate one another. We can continue to build each other up, sow into each other. And that's what Motivational Mondays is all about.
Well, we definitely went over our time. It's never enough time, but I don't mind going over when you're dropping jewels and, like he said, shining these beacons of light. My brother, salute. Happy Monday. Enjoy yourself. All the people that are hanging around and want to talk more ish, because we're going to talk ish tonight. We come right back at it 8:30 with the Zoom show. Enough is enough. You know what I mean? So look forward to that. I'll be sharing that on all the Facebook pages with a live stream as well with Sean Cornelius, my girl Onika McLean. Amir pops on, Miss True usually on there. And we're gonna these issues that we're talking about right now, we're about to do an overall powwow of that. So see you guys later. Amir, love you, brother. Nothing you can do about it. The trilogy's best Berry B. Look at him.
I saw. I you know, like I said, the sweatshirt, one of my boys I grew up with, this was a nice joint he did for me, you know, to celebrate my brother. This is a memorial that we got of him in my old neighborhood, and it's St. John's, over here on this side. So, again,
today was dedicated to the incomparable, my good brother, the man that helped so many people go forward, Malik Sealy and the whole Sealy family. Hearts go out to you. Bye. Love you, man. Everybody be safe, and definitely East Coast. You up in this nor'easter, be safe, take it slow. Don't move if you ain't got to.
Yes, sir.